Welcome to this part of another soul-gripping testimony, delivered from deep darkness. This testimony may have visually disturbing scenes, therefore viewer discretion is advised. Please note that this is just one part in a series of videos of this particular testimony, so if you have the stomach for it, feel free to check out the entire playlist, Delivered from Deep Darkness, here on this YouTube channel. Here is a mystery to understand. The enemy of your soul is dedicated and will not rest till he had you in his control. When he is not attacking you, he is studying you. Sometimes he will study for years, probing, prodding, and provoking you to study how you respond to any number of given stimuli. You can only overcome this onslaught by the instructions and provisions from the throne of God. No, not allow yourself to be lulled into a false sense of security. God warns us, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. 1 Peter 5:8. This marriage is another level engagement to secure my will and capture my star. They had failed in the previous attempts, but did not give up as I assumed. They studied me, then launched their trap. All arrangements were made in haste, and the next morning I traveled with the priests to the minor seminary in Masaka, Uganda. This was part of the region I served as territorial chief. The seminary rector received me with great honor. I was given May special privileges, including a private living quarters near the priest's residence. After some weeks at the seminary, I was taken to enroll in a high school run by the church. I spent the next 2 years as a privileged student in high school and lived a normal life, except for a few manipulations. Satan seemed to have withdrawn till the opportune time. I was, however, curious about the many impromptu interviews from the school leadership about witchcraft and wizardry. These interviews turned into lessons. I was the teacher. The honor was quite thrilling. It seems they enjoyed every session because they carried books and voice recorders. I enjoyed the attention. These sessions were intended to test my knowledge of and interest in occultism. I was now a normal 14-year-old enjoying secondary school education. To my mother, God had delivered her son. No more pythons, no more cobras, and no more leopards. Another miracle happened. My father returned home with all of the daughters. Although I knew I had sisters, this was the first time I ever saw them. Those were unprecedented yet strange times to see our family restored. I was used to living with mother in our lonely, depolated house. It was a new experience of living with 7 other people. Relatives and neighbors began visiting our home. It was no longer a deserted, haunted home. We had defeated ghosts and mermaids. The stories of witches and wizards dissipated. Every room in the house had a statue of Mary. Every night we gathered to sing to Mother Mary and recite the rosary. We were happy until another round of Satan's claim. A few days after reporting for the first term of my 3rd year in secondary school, the sports tutor of the college, a white priest from United States of America, summoned me to his house for dinner. I was accustomed to such privileges with priests in the school and thought nothing much of this meeting till it was too late. How could I have known this was the trap springing shut around my feet? I was to report at his house exactly 7 p.m. while other students were going for night classes. Going to the meeting, I sensed an urgency in the spirit. Something was happening. Even though for past 3 years I had not tried any projection, the growing anxiety soon turned to fear. I feared what I could not see about this meeting. This fear provoked me to try an astral projection to check the operations around the school. Most of the territorial knots were on high alert, signifying that an alien high chief of another society was in my area. What was the reason for the high-level enchantment? What were sorcery charges? I needed help. I needed protection. I wanted to run away, but I loved school and enjoyed living as a normal young man. Why now? I had been clean from any spiritual activity for 3 years. The fear of what was going on forced me to contact the guardian spirit seeking fortification. This opened me up to Satan another time. All my former initiations and dedications were made by my mother without my consent. Now I was of age, so Satan needed my willful cooperation in his work for them to manipulate in the operation of my star. I had to choose with my own free will to engage with them. I tried several orders and they worked instantly. The guardian power was again under my command. I felt secure and in charge. Now I know it was only deception. The act of seeking his protection was good enough for a willful initiation. I thought I could protect myself from the energies that were moving at that time, not knowing it was a setup by Satan to capture again. The serpent coiled within me again, and my soul took another form. I was again the other witch from 3 years ago. The rest of my short walk to the meeting was different. I was no longer a student. I walked majestically like the reigning priest in his territory, checking all the power lines and guarding spirits. I announced my presence like the alpha lion in his region. The student was now the king, the territorial ruler preparing to dispatch any evaders in my territory. At Father Ryan's residence, I was welcomed with honor by a priesthood delegations from Rome, Malta, and the local coven. If you have come this far, chances are high that you are loving this video. Please do me a favor and hit both that subscribe and like button to help this message to spread far and wide. Also, don't hesitate to check out the rest of the playlist, Delivered from Deep Darkness, right here on this YouTube channel. Thank you for supporting the Wake Up channel. God bless you.